Flyperbole, flip, flyperbole. Flyperbole, flip, flyperbole. Flyperbole, flip, flyperbole.
Hey, Macarena, hey. Why did I start with that? I don't know, Quigs, but we're here. We're back. And you know what I want to start talking about this week? We want to get into the hockey, of course, but I did want to start off by saying, what is the weirdest thing that you've seen sold on the side of a road? Because there's a guy in my neighborhood who has recently started selling Tide and energy drinks out of his trunk.
Like
it's not just laundry detergent. It is Tide specifically.
So like Tide, like pods.
I mean, pods, detergent. He must have maybe this guy intercepted a truck at some point, Goodfellas style, and he's just figuring out what to do with it. But yeah, it's Tide pods, Tide detergent, and energy drinks.
Okay, yeah. The only weird thing that I've ever seen sold on the side of the road, like I've seen like food sold on the side of the road. That's not that weird to me.
No, it's very common.
Yeah, but like
another thing that's very prominent in my neighborhood, by the way, like people, a lot of people, at least two different people by a lot, they set up little carts, and I don't know how legal these carts are, but they're selling like tamales and stuff out of them. So I don't know. People seem to be enjoying it. So cool. But yeah, it is like kind of funny. Like they just don't seem very like as official as like some of the hot dog carts like you'd see in like Center City. But
right.
Another thing Philadelphia is also notorious for is like guys selling soft pretzels by the side of the road. And It sounds skeezy as shit, but man, those are the best soft pretzels I ever had.
I like the soft pretzels that like will give me cancer if I have more than like 2 of them in a month. Like I like those. They're great. They're awesome. They're super salty. Like I think
it's more likely they'll like give you a heart attack
or cholesterol, whatever. Yeah, heart attack, whatever it is. But yeah, the only thing I've ever seen that was like kind of weird that someone was selling like on the side of the road was off of an exit ramp off a highway, and this lady who I presume was homeless had like just a bunch of roses. Was just giving people roses for like $1.
Oh, I've seen the roses. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's supposed to be like symbolic for something. It was a nice little thing. Like, I think that's $1 for a rose. That's not a bad exchange. I would do that.
But it ain't Tide out of her trunk. That's for sure.
It's not Tide. I do need some Tide. Like
Tide and energy drinks. Like, well, come on down to South Philly. There's a guy I can hook you up with who can get you all your laundry detergent and energy drinks. I was thinking that's like the Rob Gronkowski duo right there. Is he can bite into a Tide Pod and slam a Monster.
Well, I was going to say that makes an excellent mixed drink, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
You take that Tide Pod. It's kind of like a Jaeger bomb, but it's a Tide bomb. You just put it into your energy drink, and then you slurp it down, and then you wake up in the hospital, but that's not the point. Like the point is that it tastes good and it's a great experience. And I think, I think that's kind of the main takeaway from that. So
I'm just thinking of it like Rancid right now. Tide Bomb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I love that. I think that's a great combination. I think he's really onto something. That guy.
I think he is. Mr. Tide Bomb. I'm going to start referring to him as, and I'm going to get punched squarely in the face.
Yeah, but it'll be funny. So you should still do it.
It will be funny. But what can we consider what the Philadelphia Flyers are currently doing funny? Because they're ruining our tank dreams right now.
Are they though? Are they really?
I don't know.
Because so here's the thing. Like, I really don't think they are, because like a couple weeks ago, or I shouldn't say a couple weeks ago, like maybe a week ago, because there was this random ass like 5-day break for no reason at all.
I hated that 5-day break. It really threw off my flow.
Yeah, it was very strange. But they basically, before the 5-game break, they were kind of like moving on up the league standings. And I was like, whoa. Like, I think they were like number 8 or something like that at one point. And I was like, this is not the move, Flyers. What are we doing? And then all these other teams started catching up to them and getting to where they are points wise. And now they're back at like 5. So right now, if the season ended today, they would have the 5th overall pick.
Which ain't bad. We want to be top 4 if we can.
Top 4 is what is the dream. But if they can get, honestly, top 5, I'll take as well.
I mean, you're getting a good guy regardless.
I'll be like irrationally irritated if they get the 6th overall pick. That's not a bad place to be picking. Like the 6th overall pick is good, but like there's something about being top 5. Like be in the top 5. That's kind of what I'm hoping to see here. So
yeah, I feel that. And well, it seems like the top 4 specifically, like that's where the real like meat of the draft is to be found. And that, you could say that with most drafts, but like it feels like, especially with this draft, because it's a little thinner.
Mm-hmm. You got Schaefer, you got Higgins, you got Martone, and then you got Misa. Those 4 guys. But like, so like optimally top 4. If you can get top 5, that's the next best thing. Anything below 6 is just like really triggering and annoying. So
I'm furious at myself right now. I'm furious at myself. And you know why?
Why?
Because I just thought of Michael Misa's name pronounced in Jar Jar Binks style. And I hate myself because I'm not going to be able to unthink that now. Okay? I'm just having to think. I'm thinking, oh, Misa, Michael Misa. Like, fuck. Oh, that's terrible. I hate it. I hate myself.
It's not great. Do you think, let's pretend the Flyers draft. Let's pretend they get lucky somehow and they draft Michael Misa. Do you think people in Philadelphia will like change his name to something else? Like, you know how they call him like Alshon Jeffries and like
Jeffries. Yes. Yeah. I always draft. My dad does that.
Like, do you think people in Philly will call him like Michael Meesers or like?
That sounds like a Kennedy pronunciation. Like, why, Michael Meesers?
Yeah, or like, I don't know, Michael Meeser going down the ice. You know,
like, Mikey Mouse. Mikey Mouse.
Yeah. I can.
I could see that. Yeah, like, I think it would just be the plural, like Michael Meesas.
Yeah.
You know that Meesas guy over in the Flyers. Like, I'm sure Mishkov has already become a plural for certain people if they can even say his name.
Well, we already know that like in the locker room he's Mike.
He's Mike,
and I'm sure that there are actual like citizens of Philadelphia who call him Mike Mishkov. So
I'm still like kind of upset at Mike because I wanted his shorthand to be Matty Meach.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Well, because, you know, Matt Vey turns into Matt like very easily. So, you know, it's a bummer. It was right there. And the Flyers, of course, in classic hockey nickname style, did not take it. Mike. I still enjoy Mike, though. It is fun when he scores. Just be like, Mike. But
it's a funny nickname.
Know. I'm always just thinking about like, I mean, you know, I'm always thinking about Mishkov all day. That's all I'm thinking about. But man, Michael Misa would be awesome. I mean, any of those guys in the top 4. I mean, look, they'll probably get good talent no matter who they draft if they end up in the top 6. But as we're sitting right now at our Tank Watch 2025, I wish I had a good graphic for this. I do have the Danny Briere in the GoldenEye tank Photoshop I did, so I guess I could run that for next time. But your Tank Watch 2025 currently. So your Philadelphia Flyers sit at 73 points in 78 games played. The Bruins have entered the chat, though. Boston just can't let us have nice things. So the Bruins now have 73 points in 79 games played. So
they're
neck and neck.
They're like actually tanking as hard as they possibly can. Like they were like okay, like at like the middle of the season, but then like they just started nosedive. Like, and then they were like, you know, when you get to the point where you're trading Marchand, like that kind of tells you everything you need to know. And dude, unbelievable that David Pastrnak, the fact that he has hit 100 points with the team that he's on, like that goes to show just how unbelievably good he is. Like Travis Konechny, like getting 70 points on this Flyers team, like it's not like this is like, don't get me wrong, the Flyers need more talent, but like it's not like this team is like the Flyers of a couple years ago where it was like, you know, the darkest of days. David Pastrnak right now is in his darkest of days, and he still has a 100-point season. It's crazy. And even still, with a 100-point player, the Bruins are currently the 4th worst team in the NHL. It's crazy.
That is wild to think about. Pastrnak really is just a special damn player, and it's funny to think that his best years might get wasted away over the next few years. What a shame. Maybe you should come to Philadelphia, play with Matvei Mishkov.
That would be fun. I would like that.
Anybody talented playing with Meesa at this point is a dream. Not that he hasn't. I mean, so let's talk a little bit about this Rangers game that happened last night. So we're recording this on Thursday night. Flyers played Wednesday against the New York Rangers over in the train station, and the Rangers are there. It looks like they're going to miss the playoffs now. If they had beaten the Flyers, they are eliminated. So that was the game. The Flyers eliminated the Rangers, which is kind of fun.
Flyers eliminated the Rangers, which is fucking funny as hell. So
like it's annoying from the tank perspective because the Rangers should have. I don't know, like this Rangers team sucks, right? The Rangers should have been balls to the wall, like doing everything to win that game. They did not look like they wanted that thing. And that should have been a shoo-in. The Flyers stink. They played Kolosov, who Kolosov hasn't played an NHL game in what, 2-3 months at this point, if not longer?
That's correct. Also, my mistake. They are not officially eliminated.
Oh.
But like there's no way. There's no way they're making they can't.
What's the point differential between them and the Canadiens right now? Can you look that up for me, please?
So the Canadiens have 87 points. The Rangers have 79.
Yeah, it's not happening.
So basically they need to win out, and then they need the Canadiens to lose every game.
And stupid ass Lane Hutson is not going to let that happen.
No, Lane Hutson's going to...
Lane Hutson. I hate that name. I hate Lane Hutson's name. It's terrible.
The T bothers me more than it should, but...
I feel like if it was Lane Hudson, I wouldn't mind it that much. But Lane Hutson, I mind very much. But yeah, the Rangers were a bunch of chumps, hey? Like a chump, hey? They were terrible last night against the Philadelphia Flyers. And you would think Kolosov wasn't great. Kolosov let up, 5 goals in that game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was off. He is clearly not NHL ready at all. And there seems to be this belief still that maybe... I don't know if his opinion of himself has changed since the start of the season, because obviously at the beginning of the season, he's like, I'm ready for the NHL. Put me in, coach. And
not only did he say, I'm ready for the NHL, he said, I don't belong with these swine in the American Hockey League.
Yeah.
If you do not put me in the National Hockey League, I will not play, sir. Good day.
And he's been awful everywhere he's been. AHL, NHL, he sucked. For the most part. I remember when he first started playing games in the NHL, there were moments where I was like, okay, this is he's showing some good signs here. You know what I mean? I wasn't blown away, but I was like, he's got something to work with here, you know? But then he just started nosediving, and then he wasn't playing. The whole Kolosov situation is so weird and bizarre. And I'm really excited for the day that, there's just a designated place that he plays. I just want him to go somewhere and play there, whether it's Lehigh Valley or even the KHL. I don't care what it is. Just go on a team, stay on that team, and fucking play hockey.
All this drama for a guy who can't even put up a save percentage over 900 in the AHL. I was like, oh, I thought he was pretty good in the AHL. And then I looked up his numbers just now. He posted an 884 save percentage in 12 games with the Phantoms. That is ass.
Yeah, that's awful.
Because whatever your defense is, it's still the AHL, and that's where you really need to dominate. I'm really excited about Carson Bjarnason going there and seeing what he can do. So that's cool. I can't wait to see Zavragan in a few years. And I think at this point, if the Flyers do want to take a step next season and maybe the season after, it does seem like they need to move on from Fedotov and Kolosov and really get an established NHL guy in there in some way. I don't know if I'm ready for that conversation this week because I feel like I need to do some research and get some names up there. Yeah. That is an off-season thing, but it's a big question. And I think, last night wasn't so much about Kolosov's performance. I did think that the Rangers were going to win that game because Kolosov was going in there. He hadn't been in the NHL in a while, all that. But Jonathan Quick said, hold my beer, kid. Hold my vodka, I guess, if you're talking Russian here. And Jonathan Quick shat that bed big time. I will actually give the Flyers props, though. They had some pretty goals in this game. Tyson Forrester, what a night. We got a little applause for Tyson Forrester. Typho with his first, that woke Brucey out of his slumber. He really was like, what's going on? That was a funny reaction there. But really derailed me there. Tyson Forrester, though, with his first hat trick in the NHL. What an awesome performance and a great night for Typho. It was a little frustrating. It was I want the tank. But Typho is going off. I mean, one of those is an empty netter. But you know what? As far as empty netters go, it was pretty badass. He stole the puck from a Ranger and fired it in from center ice. Like, that rocked.
It was fun. It was really fun. Also, speaking of the Rangers real fast, Peter Laviolette's like toast, right? Like, he's out. They can't bring him back, right?
That was a team that was supposed to be top 3 in this division. Easy. They were supposed to compete for the division title. No, they're going to miss the playoffs. And also, speaking of, what's going on with your hair, Lavi? Lavi had some great flow back in the day. And he's got one of those weird, like, cut at the sideburns, like not
he's
quite.
A hard time now. Yeah,
he's not committing to a good haircut. And you're in New York City, okay? You have some of the best barbers in the world at your disposal, my guy. Go get a nice haircut.
So, question for you right now, as we're recording this episode of Flyperbole, the Rangers are taking on the New York Islanders. If the Rangers lose to the Islanders in embarrassing fashion, like almost as embarrassing as they lost to the Flyers last night, does Peter Laviolette become the first coach in NHL history to be fired 3 games into a season and also with 3 games remaining in a season?
Because that'd be really funny if that happened.
I don't know for a fact that hasn't happened before, but there's no possible way a coach has been fired with 3 games left in the season and also was fired. Like, name another coach that was fired 3 games into a season. Never happened.
That was such an unusual situation when it happened. Like, I remember being so frustrated. I'm sure that actually I was podcasting at the time, I believe, so I could probably go back and listen to the podcast if I could find them on my hard drives. But what a frustrating situation where it was like, why didn't you just do this before the season when you could have hired a proper coach? And then they roll with Berube. But you know what? They made Berube's career from that one day right there, because then Berube would go on to quite a successful career with the St. Louis Blues over there. And now he's doing pretty darn nice over in Tirana.
Yeah, he's doing a good job there. So
Berubster. Not my cup of tea as a head coach, but you know what? He's done well for himself.
He was good. Like, he's a good head coach when like he goes to a place and he does well there for like a couple years, and then he's out. Like, that's kind of his thing. He has a shelf life of like 3-4 years.
Yeah. And that's like most head coaches. I mean, we just saw that with John Tortorella. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Him and Torts are very similar in that way.
Yeah. So. Well, they're hard asses, right? Like, they're true hard asses. Unlike our lovely Brad Shaw, who has this team playing loosey-goosey and a lot of fun right now.
I am a big fan of friend of the show, Brad Shaw. He's doing well. And he made a comment like, after one of their recent games where he's just like, yeah, I do feel like I have a bit of a lighter hand. And I just feel like the players are playing with much, looser is really the only word. Like, it seems like they're not scared to make a mistake now. And that's nice. Like, when Torts is your head coach, like, he has the best of it. I truly think that Torts has and always has had the best intention for his players. But like, it's just like, he's so strong-willed about what he wants you to do that if you don't do that thing, he like flips out and then he benches it. Like, the way he disciplines players for not like playing the way he wants them to play is like just warped. It's crazy.
I got so tired of that. That was, I think, the number one factor heading into this stretch run where I really didn't want Tortorella back, was specifically his treatment of guys like Matvei Mishkov. The way him and Cam York really butted heads at the end there, and clearly there was a big problem there. But also just like some of the spiteful things he's done over the years, like benching Sanheim in Calgary in front of his friends and family, benching Brink in Minnesota in front of his friends and family. Like, it's one of those things where you do it once, right? And you're like, okay, maybe it's just like, it just had to happen, right? But then he does it again, and you're like, oh, he's doing this shit on purpose.
And that's the thing. And then he's playing this, like, he's playing dumb. He's like, I had no idea, like, I had no idea he was from here. I had no idea he had family here. Like, I don't know. It was just, that's weird. And it's like really shitty that he did that, because like there's a pattern there at that point. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way that's just a coincidental thing. So,
no.
And that's
like, shitty. he's a guy known for playing mind games. That's just kind of his MO. That is like who he is. He is who we thought he was, right? And he is a guy who screws with people's heads right there. So I don't miss him right now. He did some good things, but I don't miss him. But Brad Shaw, how are we feeling right now? Like, I do want to, well, I think we're done with the tank, but how are we feeling right now? So the Flyers just put up 8 goals. 2 of them were empty netters, but put up 8 goals in Madison Square Garden. That's pretty nice. Beyond the Montreal game, so what? Shaw's now 4-1, right? Mm-hmm. And the team's offensively has been night and day. So much better than they were throughout the entire month of March. It's been just more fun to watch. They're playing looser, lighter, more fun. How are we feeling right now about the possibility of Brad Shaw being the coach, just being the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers? How are you feeling right now specifically?
I like it. I like Brad Shaw. And listen, I feel like this isn't like an unheard of thing where coach gets fired, team plays well after coach gets fired. Like, it's not like that's rare. I feel like
Craig Berube.
Yeah, like teams like
Peter Laviolette got fired. That's how Craig Berube got the job. And also, I mean, I keep bringing this up with the Phillies, but Rob Thompson, Joe Girardi got fired. Rob Thompson took the reins. Rob Thompson is now the full-time manager of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like, I'm just saying, like, take the solid play since the John Tortorella firing with a little bit of a grain of salt, because this happens. If a coach gets fired, usually teams tend to play better in the wake of that. So take it with a grain of salt. But I do like Brad Shaw. We've seen what he's done with some of the players on the team. He's turned around players' careers. Like, he's turned around Rasmus Ristolainen's life. He's turned around Nick Seeler's life. I mean, we're seeing what he's doing with Jamie Drysdale. Like, it's really exciting. And I think he has a really good he seems to connect well with the players. I don't know. I would not be upset at all if the Flyers are like, yeah, we're just going to keep him as a head coach. The only reason I would be upset is if, like, and we've talked about this before, if Mike Sullivan becomes available and the Flyers are just like, well, no, we have Brad Shaw here. Like, as much as I like Brad Shaw, you fucking talk to Mike Sullivan. Like, you get out there, you interview him, you do whatever you can. He's one of the best coaches in hockey. So, like, that would be the only thing that would make me, like, kind of scratch my head. But, like, if it comes down to, like, Brad Shaw versus
so, like, I was talking with Gilbert about this the other day, and the guy that kept coming up was Jay Woodcroft.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it comes down to Brad Shaw versus Jay Woodcroft, or Brad Shaw versus Rick Tocchet, or Brad Shaw versus someone else, like, I would probably lean Brad Shaw because I don't know. I like what he's done with the Flyers so far, and I feel like he's kind of earned an opportunity to be a head coach at this point. So why not try it?
Right. And also, like, we're talking about new voices, right? And Brad Shaw might be 60 plus years old, but he's never been a full-time head coach. He's been an interim coach, but he's never been the guy, right? And if he wants it, I mean, that is a fresh voice. It's a guy who's never done this. And clearly he's got a fresher take on the defensive game than some of the guys they've had over the past few years, certainly more so than Tortorella and Alain Vigneault, where he has embraced, we talked about the power kill and everything and what he's done as far as, pushing that play up the ice. So I am really curious to see what he could bring full time. And yeah, I agree with you. I wouldn't be mad about it at all. One of the things I was saying to Gilbert the other day, when we talked about this, was the one thing that worries me is just, and again, I don't really care about this personally, but I know the front office is always thinking about the beloved season ticket holders and everything, but the fan perception if Shaw is the guy, because it's somebody who was here while the team did bad under Tortorella. So is it really something that new? You and I know that, but I feel like the fan base as a whole might be a little bit mildly let down by the lack of brand new shiny toy to yell at. But right. I personally agree with you. I really like Brad Shaw, and I think he would be a very good head coach for the Flyers.
I just learned something really interesting So Bradshaw played quite a few years in the NHL. He played 377 games, most of them with the Hartford Whalers and the Ottawa Senators. In the 1992-93 season, Steve, he had a pretty solid year statistically. He had 7 goals and 34 assists for 41 points in 81 games as a defenseman. So that's pretty good. Would you like to know what his, and listen, I understand plus minus is a very, it's an overrated stat. But would you like to guess what his plus minus was during the 1992-1993 Ottawa Senators season?
92-93. That was a pretty lousy team from what I recall. So let's say minus 30.
He was minus 47.
Hey, that's Andrew McDonald's number. Minus AMAC.
Yeah, dude, listen, again, overrated stat, but to be minus 47 on a season is fucking crazy. Like
that's
that
hilarious.
So
that's
bad.
Really bad. Yeah.
It's really bad. And so it's kind of funny that like he's known for being like a really, really good defensive coach. So, yeah, so that's kind of funny. I would like to, if he becomes the head coach, I would love to sit him down one day and be like, just ask him typical questions, but then at the end be like, hey, by the way, Brad, I just want to ask you, what the fuck happened in 92-93? What's the minus 47? What were you doing?
I gotta see who was on that Senators team because, oh my God. Okay, what do you think the Ottawa Senators record was in 92-93? Yeah, how many wins did they have?
I was going to say, I don't feel like doing math, so I'll say 17 wins.
They had 10 wins.
Oh my God.
They were 10-70 and 4, so 4 ties at the time. 10 wins, 70 losses, and 4 ties. Not good. Coach was Rick Bowness, and let's see who Jody Hull was on that team. Nice. Their leading scorer was a guy I'm not even familiar with. His name was Norm McIver. McIver. Brad Shaw was number 4 in scoring on that team. He had 41 points in 81 games.
Steve, would you like to know who was Brad Shaw's teammate during the 1994-95 Ottawa Senators season?
Oh, who was that?
Radek Bonk.
Oh, Bunk! The father of our beloved Flyers prospect, Oliver Bonk.
So that's an interesting little. That's it. Like if Bradshaw becomes the head coach, that's an interesting thing to just think about. Because Oliver Bonk is getting to a point where like he might play an NHL game next year. And I'm not saying he's going to make the team out of camp, but like maybe, they could call him up or something because he's going to be pro at that point. So makes you wonder, like, I wonder if it's kind of a cool little connection there. So.
That is a cool connection. I like that. Yeah. Bonk. Oh man. Some other good, by the way, Flyers connection names on this roster here. So I mentioned Jody Hull, who, one of the great goatees in Flyers history right there. Darren Rumble. One of the best hockey names of all time, Darren Rumble. So good. And Brad Marsh over there. We interviewed Brad Marsh also at the Flyers Carnival, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah, we did.
2 guys that we interviewed at the Flyers Carnival on that Ottawa Senators roster. And what a crappy roster it was. Was that the first year back for that franchise from like, God, yeah, that was their first year as a franchise after like expansion, because the Senators were a thing like way back in the day, but then they came back into the modern NHL in 92-93. So yeah, that was their first season.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, but hey, they were happy to have hockey back, and it's working out now. And hey, that's a playoff team this year.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think
that is pretty cool, and that's clearly going into the playoffs right now. That's your rooting interest right now. I don't have any expectations for them going anywhere, but that's Claude Giroux's team, baby. That's the team I'm rooting for.
That's the thing. Like I'm rooting for Giroux. I'm rooting for the Senators. I'm excited for the East. Like the East is a really, really interesting. There are several interesting series in the East this year. So I think I saw somewhere that it would be like Toronto versus Ottawa in the first round. So it would be like a battle of Ontario. That would be pretty cool.
Little Scooty Lutz versus Claude Giroux.
I think that would be great.
If Scott Lawton's not a healthy scratch in those games.
Honestly. Yeah. But I think there was also like Tampa versus Florida. Like that would be fun, a battle of Florida. Whoever, like the Devils are going to be out in 4 games. So, I mean, that's going to be a little bit of a bummer. But
that'd be real tragic, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, real shame. Can you guess, by the way, not to bring the show down, but how many points Scott Lawton has for the Toronto Maple Leafs in
like
16 games?
Like 1 point.
2 points. 1 goal, 1 assist.
I'm surprised he has a goal, honestly. Dude, like, and that's the thing. Listen, we all love Scott Lawton. He was never worth a first-round pick. The fact that the Flyers got a first and Grabenkin for him is fucking crazy. Like,
it's insane.
This is why the Flyers had to make this trade. And I know a lot of people are like, they should have never traded Scott Lawton. And I'm just like, what are you fucking talking about? When you get that offer for Scott Lawton, you run away to the bank laughing and giggling. Like, that is, you have to make that trade. He is, as much as I like the guy, he's a great person. He's not that good. He's like a fourth line, an okay fourth liner, dude. Like,
I agree with you. I mean, like the fact that he was playing like second line center here is so goddamn darkly funny.
It's crazy, dude. And like, listen, like if the Leafs end up making a playoff run, then it's worth it, because then in that case, I truly believe that Scott Lawton has something to do with that, even though like maybe statistically he doesn't. Like vibes wise, I think he has a major impact on a locker room. I feel like every team he's on, like he's a very, very popular guy across the NHL. And I feel like, that would go a long way for, the Leafs if they go on a run. And I feel like that would be a big part of it. Him being like that glue guy. But my God, dude, a first round pick in Grebby.
And Grebby, I'm excited for Grebby. I haven't looked at Grebby's stats in a minute here, so let's see what Grabenkin is up to right now, because I had liked his early results from the Phantoms, and from what I understand, like he's kept keeping on there. So Nikita Grabenkin currently sitting at 5 points in 8 games, 3 goals, 2 assists. So
there you go.
Not much since we talked, but hey, 5 points in 8 games is no laughing matter right there, and just a big body for the power play potentially next year, man. I really wish we could just fast forward to next year's Flyers, because like I'm really excited to see what they do, even if like they don't add a big name center or anything. Like I think they are going to add a center of some sort, because I think they have to. But and that's one area where the depth in the organization is not like as deep. But I'm excited to see like what kind of additions they make, and then see these young guys step up. I'm pumped to see what Mishkov's going to look like next season, because I'm sure he's going to be outstanding. And I just think like this is going to be a much more fun hockey team, a much more, a preview of what the next good Flyers team is going to look like is what we could be seeing next year.
Yeah, and I feel like there's going to be just the fact that there has been this coaching change. I do think there's going to be a kind of a new air in the locker room going into next season. I feel like players are going to come in fresh. They're going to be excited coming in, playing for a new coach, even if it is Shaw. Like it's still like a new head coach. Like it's a new feeling. You know what I mean? Even though he's like been around, it's going to feel a little bit different because it's just because it's not Torts. Like Torts is gone.
Yeah.
So players will be excited for that. I don't know. Like, I feel like next season could like be a low key fun season for the Flyers. Like, especially if they do go out and they get like a 1C or something like that, or, they use an offer sheet and they get some sort of really good young player. Like, which, man, I really think they're going to go for some offer sheets. I really think they go. Like, I mean, Elliot Friedman already said it. Like, he already singled out the Flyers as he basically said, like, yeah, like look out for the Flyers in the offer sheet realm. And like with all of the draft picks that they have, like what else are they going to do? Like
Right.
they're clearly stockpiling these draft assets for a reason. What is that reason? It's probably to do some offer sheets.
Absolutely. I mean, I think they kind of have to at this point, like you have to get in there, and that's one way to get some young talent and use the cash you have at hand as, a team owned by one of the richest companies in the world, where you can go out and really flex that financial muscle and go out there and get those guys and use those first round picks in that respect. Like I'm pumped about that, man. It's just like, it does feel like there could potentially be a lot of Flyers fun around the corner to come. And I can't wait for that, because I'm also just like, I'm so sick of the haters and the losers and the people who just like want to be miserable, and they're just constantly looking all the time for excuses to be miserable about this team. Like, there are people that were watching the Flyers drum the Rangers last night and were sick about it. Like, we're just like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. It's like, dude, they beat the shit out of the New York Rangers. If you can't not enjoy that on some level, I feel bad for you.
They basically ended their season, essentially.
They ended their season, and that's a team that should have been in the top 3 in this division easy. The fact that like they had a horribly disappointing season, a undermanned Flyers team beat the shit out of them. It was awesome. I mean, like, it was actually a competitive game until the end, but yeah, they had no business allowing 6+ goals to the Flyers at home. Like, that's nuts.
It's funny. I think it's so funny. And yeah, man, like, listen, I know a lot of people want them to like get as low, like literally lose every single game, but like, they're not going to do, we've talked about this. They're not going to do that. And like, if they're going to win any games to end the season, you might as well beat the Rangers in embarrassing fashion to essentially like kill them, like, yeah, I think that's fine. Like
fuck the Rangers. I think we could all agree, fuck the Rangers. And just, you can't go through life this miserable. And also about this draft, like, I've said this a couple times in recent weeks, and I'm going to keep beating this drum, but like, as good as these guys in the draft are, none of them are better than Mishkov. And you've got the guy right now. You've got Matvei Mishkov. So like, don't be miserable. Enjoy the fact that you have your franchise player. You have the guy right now. Like, I just, it just blows my mind. Like, people just like find any excuse to be absolutely miserable. And it's like, life is too short for this, my guy. All right. It's way too short. Chill out and enjoy the Meesa of it all. And the Tyson Forrester. I'm sorry, Tyson Forrester, that was a badass performance last night. And I enjoy seeing that, because he's a guy that gets lost in the shuffle a lot, but this is a really important player for the Flyers over the next few years. Not only, seeing that goal scoring, seeing him get over the 20 hump was really nice, but what he has brought in defensively as a young player is outstanding. And this really could be like one of the biggest things for this team as they shift gears and get better, is having a guy like Tyson Forrester in your top 6.
It's awesome. Yeah. Steve, breaking news. The Boston Bruins are leading the Chicago Blackhawks 1-0 after one period.
That's beautiful.
That's great for the Flyers.
Misa.
Buffalo Sabres are beating the Columbus Blue Jackets 2-1. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Those are really the only other teams that are, Seattle's playing tonight at 10 o'clock against
Seattle's a tough one. Seattle's pretty lousy, so they're hanging around. There's a little bit. Seattle's got 74 points in 79 games played right now. Penguins 76 and 79, so I'm a little less worried about the Penguins right now, but they're still in the range. And then the Sabres 76 and 77, so I feel a little better about the Sabres being eclipsing. The Sabres are too good to finish in the bottom 5 now. And then the Ducks are kind of out of range too. The Ducks are at 78 points in 78 games played right now. So really your biggest worries. The Bruins, easy. The Bruins are definitely a worry right now. So go Bees, go. Kick some ass, Pasternak. Let's do it. The Kraken, and then maybe the Penguins, but really it's the Bruins and the Kraken, because the top 3 are locked down. Yeah. San Jose and Chicago are abysmal. And then, man, the Predators went into just sicko mode as far as being the worst over the past couple weeks. The Predators have been horrible.
Yeah. It's been really, really bad. Like, dude, I can't believe just how bad they are.
I thought, like, I knew that Stamkos wouldn't be as effective because, you know, he just didn't have the sheer offensive talent that he had in Tampa Bay. But to be like, he hasn't necessarily been the worst there, but like, I think they were hoping for more goal scoring, and that just hasn't happened. And that's because of what he's surrounded with. And it's just like, it's kind of a bummer because, like, I like Nashville. I think they're such a fun franchise and fan base that I wanted to see this team succeed, and they have just been horrible. What have they lost now? They lost, they finally won a game. Okay, I think they had lost 6 in a row before that. They are, so they're 3-7-0 in their last 10. But I just remember at one point in the past couple weeks, I looked at the standings, and I saw that Nashville and the Flyers weren't terribly far off, and now the Flyers are like 9 points up on the Predators.
Yeah, they took off. The Flyers took off because they've been kind of like on a little bit of a run here ever since the firing of Tortorella. But yeah, man, the Preds are just. I was picking them to like. I mean, I thought they were going to be an easily playoff lock, and they are just so bad. It's crazy.
It is. It's absolutely insane. It sucks, but it's also kind of funny at the same time. But yeah, the Preds really have 3 on lockdown. San Jose and Chicago, the only thing not settled there is who's worse. Currently, San Jose is 3 points worse than Chicago, but I mean, there's a couple games left. You never know. It could end up right around the same area, but it looks like San Jose will probably get the most lotto balls there, followed by Chicago, then the Predators, and then maybe, hopefully, the Flyers. You know, let's finish this season poorly, and I don't think they're going to. I think they're having some fun right now. That said, next game against the Islanders, who you're probably listening to this on Friday, so tonight it's going to be the Islanders, and historically, the Flyers don't do great against the Islanders because the Islanders play the worst, most boring hockey in the world.
It's going to be a horrible game. They play the Islanders on Friday or Saturday.
Oh, Saturday. Okay, so no, you get a whole so if you're listening to Saturday, it's tonight. But that's right. They have 2 weekend days. They had a Wednesday night game and then Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, which I'm sorry if you're seeing the matinee Flyers Islanders game at the park.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's not going to be a good time. Like,
no, it sounds like a very bad time, I would even say. But hey,
it's the penultimate game of the Flyers season at home. At home.
At home, yeah. That's
their second to last home game of the season. They
big
finished
distinction.
the season at home on Tuesday against the Blue Jackets.
Right, so we've got Saturday, Islanders, 12:30. Sunday, Senators, 1 p.m. in Ottawa, so that's also fun. They get to go take a trip up to Ottawa after playing an afternoon home game, so that should end just great for them.
I'm sure it'll be awesome.
Ottawa's got a slight chance at making third also. Not that it's going to suck no matter who they play. Like, they're going to play somebody amazing no matter where they finish. But, you know, it's a matter of, I mean, it's basically Toronto or Tampa Bay, and that's just like flip a coin. It's going to be tough sledding no matter what. And then it's Columbus, as you said, and then Buffalo, which that Buffalo game, I don't think it's
be an important game.
I think it's going to be an important game regardless, but like, I don't know. Buffalo might be out of range of the Flyers as far as being too good by that point, but we will certainly see on that front. But yeah, Columbus isn't quite, they were pretty hot at the All-Star break, or not the All-Star break, the Four Nations, they're dead now. Yeah. And man, it's we're getting down there. It's a little weird to think about. Like, we are down to these 4 games now, and then Yoffs, and then I'm just excited. Like, you know, I always enjoy the NHL playoffs, and we'll talk next week about some of these potential matchups, what we're looking forward to, and that and everything. But from a Flyers perspective, I am really pumped for this offseason because there's just so many interesting storylines. We talked about the center position. We talked a little bit on goaltending. You know, there's just so many different things they could do. And then the draft this year is just such a big one. 3 first-round picks. We don't have a venue yet or anything, but you know we're having a draft party, folks. You know we're going to have a draft party, and it's going to be an awesome time. It always is. And with 3 first-round picks, and we don't we've said this before. We don't expect the Flyers to make 3 first-round picks.
No, there's no, I will be absolutely stunned if they do. Like,
so we could be in for some wheeling and dealing. I mean, we might spend the entire draft party on our phones just trying to find NHL insider info from social media.
I can't wait. I really feel like this offseason, like things are going to happen. I know a lot of people were like disappointed with last offseason because like Danny Briere didn't really do much of anything.
What did they? I don't get the expectations.
They got Mishkov last offseason. That's not nothing. So
that's like the biggest acquisition in recent Flyers history.
Yeah. So this offseason, I think they're going to actually do things, and I think it's going to be really exciting. So
yeah. Well, I think if you thought they were going to do something big last offseason, you're not somebody that's like connected on the everyday level to this team. Like you must be a casual because you weren't paying attention. This was a team that just sold at the deadline. They sold Sean Walker, which was, I will say this time and time again, the right move. The right move. They sold at the deadline. It was clear that the trajectory was not to build up that offseason. And we still don't know exactly which way the winds are blowing this season, but I feel fairly confident that they're not doing an outright tank next season. Like next season is more about building blocks, right? But there is the possibility that they could make a big move at the draft. There's a really real possibility of that. So I'm just pumped. Like I can't wait to get there and see what they do. Like I'm not expecting free agency because I haven't looked at the free agents recently, but I don't think there's like any big fish that you're really like saying, I really need the Flyers to get that guy. Trades, draft picks. Those are really your big things to focus on right now.
Yeah. I don't think free agency is going to be really the main focus. Cause like the Flyers whole thing is like, let's get younger, like let's get young, talent. And like in free agency, it's typically like older veterans that you kind of, you sign them to plug up holes on your roster of guys who are leaving or who you've traded. So I feel like they're mainly going to be going after trades and offer sheets. I'm going to just say it right now. Like I'm willing, like I will bet you right now they're making at least one offer sheet. That's happening.
Oh, baby. It's a shame Wyatt Johnston's off the market because that was such an intriguing potential offer sheet for this team.
Yeah. I'm willing to say at least one offer sheet is made by the Flyers this offseason.
Ooh, that's a spicy meatball right there. And the Flyers are one of the few teams in NHL history to like really go bold with the offer sheets. So there is a little bit of precedence there. I mean, we all know Paul Holmgren and Shea Weber was a big one, but also, oh my God, it was Kessler, right? Kessler was the previous one that I think they went after.
I think so. I think he was like...
Or no, was Kessler the one they were rumored to... Well,
there was a rumor for Kessler. It was obviously Shea Weber. That was the number one. That was like the big one. But yeah, I remember there was like some smoke around Ryan Kessler for a time.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see. Let's see. The Chris Gratton. I'm going through Kessler. Kessler back in 2006.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Flyers tried in that. And that would have been, Kessler would have been a great Flyer if that had happened.
Yeah, he would have been, yeah.
Yeah, they tried with that one and they did not get him. But man, that would be a lot of fun. We'll have to take a look at who the potentials are on that front. But man, let's get spicy. Let's get like back into the Flyers being a big deal in this league. It's been too long. The NHL is a more fun place when the Flyers are big players in it, when they are just tossing that Comcast money around and saying, we're the Broad Street bullies and we're going to have our way with this league. Like that's when the league is the most fun. The league needs the Flyers back. Even if we're just the villains of the league, they need us back. They need us.
Yep. Yeah. I think, I just miss when the Flyers were in on everything. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it was a fun time. And like, that was right before, my time of like getting really into hockey. But I remember they were like, when Paul Holmgren was the guy, like it was exciting. You always heard the Flyers being involved in all these players and it was just fun. You always got excited every offseason. And like, I would love for them to get back to that.
It was like, I will admit, like, it was a breath of fresh air for like the first like year or two of Hextall when they were kind of like back down a little bit because the rumors got insane. Like, it did get to the point of just like complete ridiculousness where anything happened, the Flyers were in on it. It was like, okay. And who knew if it was true or not, but like it got a little exhausting. But then Hextall went complete opposite way where, what was it? They locked him out of the office and the alumni were upset and shit. But like that also extended the news. Like no news was getting out about this team. And part of that was because Hextall was truly not in on most of these deals, like they were talking about Tavares being available in free agency. I remember a lot of people being upset that the Flyers weren't one of the teams rumored and everything. And it's like Hextall truly was not in on that in any way, shape or form, to my understanding. Like, I don't think he even like thought about it because he was just trying to clear cap for this team and then never had a point to it. Well, step one is clear the cap space. Okay. What's step two? There is a step two, right?
Exactly.
There wasn't.
Yeah.
There wasn't.
It's kind of like, in SpongeBob where like Plankton, basically like breaks into the Krabby Patty or something, trying to get the formula. And like, I think he gets the formula or something. And they're like, what are you going to do next? He's like, I don't know. I didn't think I was going to get this far.
Right.
That's kind of how it felt when with the whole Hextall situation. So
I didn't think I was going to clear this cap space. And
yeah.
Jeez.
It seems like such a monumental task. It didn't seem possible, but it happened. He did it. And then he just totally fumbled the bag with the cap space that he did have. So
man, I don't miss that. Like it all started off with the best of intentions, but man, he had no clue how to get to phase 2 for his Flyers team there. But hopefully Danny Briere will have a clue. And it seems like he said a lot of the right things. He's noted the need for a dynamic setter. You're seeing the rumors about them making offer sheets. Elliot Friedman talking about it. So I'm excited. I really think this is going to be one of the most exciting off seasons in recent Flyers history.
I think it's going to be really exciting. So
yeah,
with all the ammunition they have draft pick wise, and
there's some prospects to play with too.
There's still some players they can trade. Like there are things that can be done. You know what I mean? Like this
like a certain younger defenseman.
Could be.
Yam Cork.
Could be. I mean, look at Ryan Poehling. I like Ryan Poehling, and I would love for him to be on the next good Flyers team because I do think he's an awesome fourth line player. But if a team's like, hey, could we like have him? There's no reason the Flyers should say no. So like
that's their offensive MVP over the past month. Ryan Poehling, he's just putting up points left and right.
He's been a freak. So
I mean, honestly, I would even make an argument that if you're pitching him to a team or something, he could be a third line center. Like he really has been like that good offensively over the past month that you could make that argument. I would much prefer him at fourth line center, but he's shown some skills recently. I've been impressed.
Yeah, he's been solid. So
yeah, he's been solid. But yeah, you've got Poehling. I mean, you even think about like some of the other players that. Like you might not necessarily have number one, Ristolainen is still very much a guy who could get dealt the draft. And that's, we're talking positive assets. And now that the Flyers have proven that he can play effective defense, that's a guy you don't just have to trade to get his numbers off the books. Like you were talking 2 years ago, like that is a positive asset that you could flip, but you could also not flip and it's fine. That's all cool with me. Cam York is an asset. I mean, hell, at this point, Travis Sanheim is a guy who's played for Canada on the world stage and has shown himself to be a reliable defenseman. I prefer to keep him, but maybe somebody's willing to take the contract on. Who knows? Sanheim could be an asset. There's a lot of guys that could be up in the air right now.
And that's the thing. I think that's what makes the offseason so exciting is that like anything can happen. Anyone can go. It's kind of I don't know. There's a little bit of like mystery around it, and Danny Briere has a lot of options, so we'll see what he ends up doing.
He sure does. Well, I'm pumped. Stay with Broad Street Hockey throughout the offseason. We're gonna have a lot of tangy temp for you. Before we go today, Quigs, I do need to talk about the biggest hockey story of the past week, and that would be a little record was broken that we didn't quite think was ever. I don't know if we never thought it was going to get broken, but I'm surprised it was broken, and it's really impressive that it was. And whatever the hell your feelings might be on him, you can. I think if you're a fan of the game of hockey, you can't help but be impressed by the fact that Alex Ovechkin broke Wayne Gretzky's all-time record for goals scored. Just an unbelievable record to break. And I love that he did it on just like a hell of a shot. He had a great goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will say the TNT coverage on that was awesome.
He killed it.
They had a True TV ISO cam. I think it was also available on Max, where you had it synced up side by side. You had the regular game footage camera, and then you had one that was just Ovechkin, even if he was just sitting on the bench. What an awesome thing. Like, more coverage like that, please. But yeah, they crushed it, but just like a great moment for the game, and it's just a hell of a record to break. What a career. I want him to go another year, get as many as he can.
I do too. I would love for him to get to like 1,000.
1,000 would be incredible.
I don't think he's going to do it though, because that would require like there's no way he's doing that in 2 seasons. At this age.
The way he played this season though, who freaking knows?
He would need to play like 3 more seasons. And could I see him doing that? Absolutely. He's Ovechkin. Like his life is hockey, but like, I feel like he's going to finish out his contract and then head back over to Russia. So. Right.
Well, especially also right now, I mean, the Caps are going into the playoffs as one of the top seeds. They've had an unbelievable season. I can't believe it, literally.
I know.
And if that team happens to win the cup this year, I don't expect them to, but they could. They were one of the best teams in the NHL. If they win the cup this year, I think that's it. I think he's done if they win the cup. But that's big if, there's a lot to go. But I could see, it's a perfect storybook ending. But then again, how many times has Jason Peters had a perfect ending and come back anyway?
Honestly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's probably still playing. Oh, no. He retired. I think he officially is retired as of this off season.
I'm actually shocked. I didn't expect to hear that. I mean, very often there's very few times where you get like Brandon Graham, who gets his perfect opportunity and he goes, you know what? That is it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But if
like,
Ovi, I think, gets the chance, I think that might be it.
I think 900 would be, as long as he crosses the 900 mark, that's really cool. So he doesn't necessarily need to hit 1,000.
I agree with that. I think 900 would be badass, like getting up there. And again, like there's a lot of complicated things to think about OV, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
If we're looking at Alex Ovechkin just straight up as a hockey player, the guy is, he's just
dude,
what a goal scorer he is. Just what a presence he's been throughout his career. And by the way, you know who he scored his second most goals against? Your Philadelphia Flyers. The most, I saw a graphic the other day, I believe the most was against the Thrashers / Winnipeg Jets franchise.
Oh, that's
which is hilarious because the Thrashers haven't existed in forever and they were in his division and he plays the Jets twice a year. If that. So like, holy shit, he scored a lot of goals against the Thrashers.
Yeah. Like, and here's another thing, dude. Like, I talk about if he had like how, I want him to hit 1,000. If there was no pandemic and there were no lockouts, dude, he would already have 1,000.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like, his rookie year was wiped out because the 2004-2005 lockout. And then, or was it it was 04-05, right? And then they came back in 05-06. Is that how it was?
I did all of this statistical work the other day, and I don't know if I have it anywhere. But yeah.
Well, regardless, like his rookie, what should have been his rookie year, there was no NHL hockey because of a lockout. And then there was another lockout shortened year, of course, in the 2012-2013 season. So there was that. And then there were 2 shortened years because of COVID. Yeah. So like that's basically 2 extra seasons worth of goals that Ovechkin didn't get to score. And then, it's crazy, man. Like he really, with those games in consideration, he would have hit 1,000 He absolutely would have hit 1,000 goals. And here's another. I just want to throw this out there, and this just goes back to my hatred of the fucking Islanders. All these Islanders fans coming out of the woodwork saying, "Well, Mike Bossy's really the best goal scorer of all time," and it's like, you know what? I get it. He had like the highest goal per game average or whatever. I don't fucking care. He doesn't have the number. He didn't have the longevity. He didn't break Gretzky's record.
He didn't do it. Yeah. He didn't do it. It's simple. Shut up. Islanders fans suck. The worst.
They're such an oh my god.
The worst. The worst.
New York sports fans suck. So
yeah, I think we can all, well, at least everybody watching this show could agree on that. Yeah. So I just want to throw some names at you. So right now, I mean, Ovechkin's got the record, and depending on how much longer he plays, maybe it's unbreakable for a while. I'm going to throw a few names at you. I think there's only one that applies here, but who in the league now could challenge the record? Who right now? So there's 4 names I have here, and I think there's really only one. Nathan McKinnon has 367 goals in 869 games played. He's 29. Connor McDavid, 361 goals in 708 games played, 28 years old. Leon Draisaitl, 399 goals in 790 games played. And by the way, I assembled this 2 days ago, so this could have completely changed in the past couple of days. 29 years old. Ovechkin, for reference, had 525 goals in 769 games played at 30, 371 and 531 at 27, and 475 in 690. At 29. I don't know why I put it like that, like it tiered it like that, but you know what? I had a busy week, so that's why. But anyway, he had some unbelievable totals. So even where he's at 30, he was so far ahead of where those 3 guys are on the verge of 30 that it's just feeling like those 3 guys probably not, right?
I don't see anyone doing it.
Well, what about Austin Matthews?
I knew you were going to say Austin Matthews. I don't see Austin
Matthews. Well, why wouldn't I say Austin Matthews? He's unbelievable. He's the best goal scorer in the game today.
He's the best goal scorer in the game right now, but I still don't. I don't know. I just don't see him doing it. I really
Austin Matthews is 27 years old, and he has 398 goals in 623. Now, Ovi had less games played and less goals, a lot less games played, but age does matter there, right? So Austin Matthews is 398 at 27. Ovi had 371 at 27.
If Austin Matthews is still scoring at this clip in 5 years, then I'll be like, oh shit, like he's gonna do it. But I need to see the longevity. Like what separates Ovechkin is the longevity. Like,
oh, for sure,
that's the crazy thing. So like, I'm not ready to say anyone has the longevity of Ovechkin because we've never seen anything like it, like ever. So I need to. Don't get me wrong. Like seeing like if it would be sick if Austin Matthews did it. I just don't think he will.
I think I'm just going to go based on the numbers today, and I think there's definitely a chance of it. Like, I'm not saying it will or will not, but I'm saying he's got the best chance of anybody.
He has the best chance for sure.
I think he's got the best chance of anybody in the league, period. Like, I can't even think of, like, a young rookie coming in that could compete for it. And there's some phenomenal rookies. I mean, our boy Matt Fay's fantastic. Matt Fay was more balanced this year than I think we expected him to. Talk to me after Matt Fay 2.0. Probably still not going to say it, but after Matt Fay season 2, let's talk and we'll reevaluate. Mm-hmm. Connor Bedard, very good. I don't think he's there.
I don't think so.
And the same thing with Macklin Celebrity. Fantastic, outstanding rookie season. Point per game totals are awesome. Don't see it. So I just don't think there's a pure goal scorer in the game besides Matthews that even has a hell of a chance. I think Matthews, though, I mean, he's had a great, I mean, this year's a little bit of a down year compared to last year when he scored almost 60 or almost 70 goals. He had a very nice season.
Yeah,
69. Nice. But, you know, he's had 2 60-plus goal seasons. So I think you have to say there's a chance that Austin Matthews gets up there.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's no chance. I just think it is so unlikely. Like,
I mean, you probably thought that with Ovechkin, though, until he kept doing it.
Well, yeah.
I'm making the case. If there's one guy in the league, I think it's Matthews or bust.
Yeah, and that's the correct assessment. I agree. I just don't think he actually will. Because
I think, you know what, let's make a long-term bet right here. I think he's going to do it. We'll talk in 10 years.
He's not going to do it, but
I think he is. Fuck you. He's going to do it.
He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it.
How do you know that? Like, I find it hilarious that you're so definitive that he's not going to do it. Like you don't know how his career is going to turn out.
I don't know how I can't predict the future. You're right. But like, Ovechkin's not even done. He's not even done scoring this season. And then he has next season too. He could probably.
All right, Ombre. He's got like 3 games left this season. Let's calm down on that front.
He could score a hat trick in 2 straight games.
Oh, let's go see it. I think you're being a little too dismissive of Mr. Matthews and his shitty mustache here.
Listen, man, I'm just saying.
I think you're being too dismissive.
Austin Matthews is one of the best goal scorers ever already.
Yes.
I don't think he's Ovechkin.
Okay. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll talk in 10 years.
Yeah. We'll find out.
You're too close-minded, my friend. Too close-minded.
I'm not ready to say that he will.
But you're ready to say he won't. Just saying. You're too ready to say one thing and not the other.
You bring up a good point. Okay. I'll just say, you know what? I'm just going to leave it as he has the best chance to do it.
There we go.
If he does.
Perfectly. That's the way to put it. Yeah, exactly.
That is the way to phrase it. Yeah.
That is where
you got me in checkmate. You got me in checkmate on that one.
I'm always playing, I'm Mr. Chestnut Checkers, just like Sean Couturier out here.
Oh, yeah.
Matvey Michkov. So that's where we're going to end things, folks. But it was a lot of fun. We are happy to be back and talking the puck game, the beautiful game with you fine folks. We will be back next week at some point. It might be after the season ends, actually. We'll see. We'll see how our weeks work out, but they're back on the Tuesday, Thursday schedule next week. So we'll see. But we might be back at the end of the season. But if that's the case, we will talk to you then. Thank you so much for listening. We truly love and appreciate you all. If you have any feedback for us, the best place, at least for me, is over on Blue Sky. You can find me at Flyperbole or at Esteban. If it's for hockey purposes, make it Flyperbole. It's Flyperbole on TikTok and Instagram as well. Quigs, where can people find you on the socials?
At Ryan Quigs with a Z. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. How about that? All right, check out Broad Street Hockey. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever the heck you're listening or watching, and subscribe to the YouTube. We've been loving all the great push in subscribers on the YouTube lately, and welcome if you're just finding us through YouTube. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been good to add a different dimension to the podcast this year, even though I was very hesitant because I don't love being on video, and I've been on video more this year than ever before in my life, so that's how it's worked out. But yeah, like, subscribe, all that stuff. We're out. Thanks. Until next time, in the words of the great Gene Hart, good night and good hockey. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow.